This is the Ad Hoc Technical Review Committee for lobster storage. Development is a design review. It's located at 2139 Main Road. It's in the Waterfront zoning district. And we're here to review the application. So let me do roll call. Do Rosemary?
Here.
Sue Gill?
Here.
Rick Rogers? Not here. John Hoyle?
Here.
Here. And Jennifer is here. Great. And who's here for the applicant?
John Masson and Paul Azzinaro.
Okay. Do you want to go through the, you can share your screen and go through the application if you want.
Okay, let me try to bring that up real quick.
Yeah.
Can you see what I have on my screen, site plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This was the first submission and we submitted an update after this. I'll bring that up after. But currently the project as it stands now is this gray portion of the site. This building is existing. It's been elevated up the FEMA compliant foundation, but it currently is a vacant building down to the studs, brand new roof. And that's it right now. And the client would like to convert it to a storage building.
Is it the same same footprint?
Yes, exact same footprint, 2 floors, no proposed build out of any footprint or anything. Square footage will stay the same.
I could give you some history if people are not familiar with it, if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay.
So this building had sat vacant for quite a while. We came on board about 3 or 4 years ago. While they had sought CRMC approval for some maintenance items, we came in and realized that the flood height was going.
Excuse me, guys, okay?
Oh, thank you.
John, make sure you
Thank you. Cameron's in the back, then what?
Okay,
Oh,
good.
Sorry about
That's
that.
So we came in about 3 or 4 years ago and then found out that the building was not going to be in compliance with the flood heights. So we directed them to raise them to the proper heights. We are in a flood zone, coastal A zone 16, and we have now a foot of freeboard. Reinforcing was brought in structurally to sit on our continuous concrete piers. And floodproofing will take place below the floodplain, and the upper 2 floors all intact as they were. Certainly some structural loading needs to be reinforced, the floor load to receive the mini storage requirement, and the exterior footprint will not change. It's exactly as it mimics the original structure. Does sit exactly on top. It was raised and literally plopped down and anchored to our new structural system. We did reference historical photos that went back for quite some time. And the owner really is trying to it was on the market for a while. This was all pre-approved for a hotel spa back way before my time. That was approved through Tiverton. And now he basically needs a use that's going to keep the building intact as it is, as mini storage being the least disruptive and an accepted use. And we are now, we delivered all code compliant drawings, but those are not building permit documents. As usually we finish that once we get through the development plan review. But they're pretty detailed in what we're looking for here. It strictly just deals with the building component itself as this design review.
Great. Well, we wanted to have CRMC approval, but this meeting is more about the design of the building because it's design review, because this is a visually, everyone can see it as they go down Main Road right on the water.
We understand.
It's been an eyesore, so we want to make sure that it looks good. Now, you sent me these landscape drawings and signs and lighting after you submitted the other plans. So you will have to send them to me in paper copy. I didn't get them in paper copy, so I'm just letting you know that no one has seen those. So you had asked me if you should show them, and I said, you know, go ahead and show them so that we can comment on them. But we'll need them for the planning board meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay, we can send those
They
over.
don't, yeah, so they didn't see, you had shown the sign and the plant and the trees. Those are new to them.
Okay, so basically just trying to, this is what you're gonna be seeing down the road. This is the elevation that faces the street. Sign, lobster storage trap, self-storage, and putting in some crab apple trees along the front, and keeping, you know, the original character of the building. This shingled cedar, we're not going to use cedar shingles, probably going to use a vinyl impression, but we won't be able to tell the difference.
Like fake. It's gonna
Yes,
look fake.
vinyl. They don't look fake. They're kind of a higher
I
quality.
know what they look.
Crab apple trees in front. They don't get too big. They have a nice bloom in the spring, and also they hold up to salt water quite well.
And road salt too. They're hardy for road application.
And I like that the lights face, you know, shine down.
Yep, we have lights over the sign, and as well, if we turn into the building, over all the entry doors on the back side. And
There's
garage
no
doors.
windows on the backside. Like, I'm just thinking if you were in
No, it's a
something,
storage
you wouldn't
building. These windows are primarily going to be faux windows. They're not going to be real, just for front aesthetic character of the building. Inside the building is just going to be all storage units.
And what kind of storage is it going to be? Like a boat, marine storage? Is that?
No, the very down, the lowest level is going to be service orientated to the docks and things like that. Nets. The two upper floors are essentially mini storage contained in our volume, and literally just as if you were to go into a mini storage building. They're all just aluminum clad, compartmentized with overhead doors. And this is all encapsulated within our wood frame existing.
Mhm.
And John had mentioned the windows are probably, well, will be mirrored, so that because there's going to be an internal wall. So we've convinced the owner to at least put the real windows in, and we'll deal with the privacy component with special glass. They're just a visual. Yeah, we have a freight elevator. So everything is all contained within the building itself. Going back to the lighting, these are definitely all dark sky compliant. They're LED in nature. There are no exterior floodlights needed. This is visually just enough foot candles to enter the building and exit safe, and very minimal lighting on the main sign. They're pretty much lantern quality. There's nothing special about them. Well, they're aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
No. They're aesthetically pleasing, and they'll handle the coastal environment. But they're only going to be 100-watt at best LED equivalent. It's just a glow. It's nothing harsh, and all the bulbs are shielded. The trees, we went through that is only going to get a certain height, and they're very well, they're hardy, and I think they're kind of shown at mature height on the front elevation.
And were you thinking, was there fencing? That was the other thing that I didn't see shown.
I don't know the status of the fencing there. If there's anything existing,
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
There's chain link.
There's chain link. Yeah, chain. It'd be good to know if the chain link is going to remain, or are you proposing changing it with something that looks, more aesthetically pleasing?
That, yes, I'm not sure quite of the ownership on that, where the fence is located, because there's some type of right of way right along where the sidewalk is. And I believe the property line is inboard quite a bit. I don't
think the town would have the chain link fence. I mean, in the right of way.
No, it's owned by the state.
Oh, right.
Oh,
There's a state easement that goes along the whole property, and for safety reasons, there is quite a bit of gully there. We did bring, we didn't bring much grade up, but we did lift the building.
So is the yellow the property
Yes.
line, and the interior one the setback line, or is the interior line the property line?
Interior line is the setback line. The heavy line is the setback line, and
So the one that's yellow is the property line, the boundary, right? It's labeled boundary, so that's the property line.
Yes, there is a property line, but this section here between the setback and the property, this is state of Rhode Island property here.
it's got to be
In the
a right of way.
setback?
They own the setback? Yeah, they own
Yeah.
the setback.
It's a right of way, obviously.
Huh.
But what does that mean? What does that mean right away?
That means they own it.
No.
They can't do anything to
No,
that
they-
area.
Well, they have right to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
just the state
They don't
gets
own it necessarily. The ownership is still with non-quit. That gives them the right to expand the road or some type of, I don't know the history of that.
So if they wanted to take it over, they could tell you how to take that other building down?
Oh,
I guess,
'cause it goes through there.
That'd be a.
I'm not sure if it's eminent domain, but there is definitely that comes up on the deed. We referenced this survey, so that's kind of however the title is written and however the deed is, but it's identified as a right of way ownership being non-quit. So it's,
Hmm.
take it as you wish. To me, it looks like it would have been a widening means that was done after the fact because of the other building still exists over the line. That's quite old.
Right.
So I think this was done at a later date.
Well, when you presented the landscape plan, you just had the building, the first building landscaped. You didn't do anything with the second building.
This building here? Yeah, this is-
Yes, the
we're not doing
entire,
any-
the landscaping should be the entire parcel.
We're not touching this. All the parking is existing pretty much.
Right, but dress it up a little bit.
Well, we were
It's
supposed to just
not
deal
much.
with the building itself, but then it said be prepared to show landscaping where we're doing the improvements. At this point, we don't know ultimately the longevity of that building or what that may become of. The owner is desperately trying to get the lobster storage in the works so that, it can generate some income. Right now, it's just sitting there unused.
Can you put trees in it if it's a state right of way? I mean, if they're saying that that's the state road and that's within their right of way, or is it not on that side? It's just the other side of the driveway? No, it's that whole line you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, I don't think you
I
can-
would, if they're going to take that or use the right to use it as a right of way, whatever that may be, then certainly we would forfeit the trees. But for the time being, if that's ever exercised, I don't see that being a problem. We want to dress up the building. I mean, short of putting lumen seed in, I think the trees are definitely a means to, and if we have to add, we're only going to get so far on the other side of the entranceway because the building is encroached right to the property line. So we can definitely deal with a tree to the right of the entrance coming in, leaving. Was show that right where
I
the,
see, I see the property line goes right along the other building, so it's almost like you have no room to put any sort of trees in front.
There isn't, and there's also, there's garage doors here for this building. So this is all come in the building, enter the site here, and this is all parking, not parking, but this is part of the driveway to enter this building. 2 garage doors, and this is all just
so can we
parking.
add a tree there if we need to?
We possibly could add something up front here,
That we would propose that.
another tree.
I mean, it'd be nice if you could dress it up all the way across Main Road. Because what it is from where you enter, there's a chain link fence gate. And then the chain link fence runs to the corner and around onto Nanaquacket. What's in front of the building you're looking anyway, the Lobster building has just snow fencing in front of it right now. And it's a good, 15 feet. I mean, you have a lot of room there between that and the sidewalk. The one in front of the other building is maybe,
There's not
3 feet,
much.
5 feet. It's much less between that
Mhm.
and the sidewalk. But we're just looking at if there's a way we could beautify that whole strip there. I mean, because you are.
It doesn't have to be trees, it could be something that could fit.
Even if you cut the grass.
Yeah, even if it's low maintenance shrubs in front or.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we should be looking at the entire parcel and look at the existing condition of it and address the right of way with our legal counsel.
Right. Yeah, see, I took that as I thought that was the setback line, not the.
Just remember, this is development plan review for the building only, but we are definitely amendable to improving the site. We merely show the site as a whole because of how we're providing parking and where lighting exists and That's my interpretation. But point well taken. If we can put trees there without going through the state or legal counsel, who owns or not, these trees will seek mature height before. I really don't think it's, rather than trying to go through an abandonment of state property for the sake of landscaping it, this thing could turn into a nightmare for us when we're just trying to improve the building.
But the whole thing is, if you're trying to, enhance that building, I would think it would be to your advantage to make that entire lot, as a site improvement.
I agree with you. And I believe the owner's willing to do that along Main Street, sure.
Right, and I mean, I think that's just something you need to clarify with DOT to know what you can't do there. I mean, maybe they'd rather have low shrubs rather than.
Now, if the fence is not ours, I would propose to the owner that we maybe paint it black if it's something that we can't remove.
That would be better. Black's better than.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. There's a gate there, but it's left open. But then people could still go around it, where the landscaping is and get onto the property. It wouldn't. What it's existing now doesn't prevent. It would prevent cars, but it wouldn't prevent people access onto the property. So it's kind of a weird setup, the way it is right now.
Yeah, there is some danger to the site because the dock is totally exposed and it's
right.
There's a boat ramp, and that is something that we have to discuss with the owner.
Right. Well, that's what I'm wondering, even if you decided to, or you could do fencing across the lobster storage, if it was something more decorative, like across the street in front of the houses is like a black, more like a wrought iron, fencing, if you did something that was even.
I'm with you.
Decorative, that would blend through the whole thing. I mean, it would certainly make your building.
Yeah.
If you make them.
Maybe we can terminate it at the face of the other building and incorporate some hubs or something coming in the entrance, but I'll definitely look into that and see the reality of the ownership of it and who maintains it, and we'll respond back to you before our next meeting.
What you can and can't do.
Yeah.
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 Can I just ask too? I'm still not clear. So the upstairs, the top 2 floors are going to be just regular storage, right? They're storage units. So
They're storage units, and it's not open storage. These are definitely just walk in a corridor with a freight elevator servicing the units. They're small in nature, some of them.
Can you tell me about the bottom floor again? Because I can't, I mean the first floor.
The floor at grade, that is in the floodplain. Technically, it's uninhabitable, but we are allowed, and by the way, we are still working under a maintenance agreement with CRMC that's enforced. The bottom floor, it's our intention to use that, I can't think of the exact term that they use, where it's a site dependent on the uses that the site offers. So if we have about 8 slips for large vessels, that area underneath can be used for nets and equipment and things of sort like that. This is not necessarily open to the public for the same storage that we have above. And we have fire ratings associated with that to the underside and all that.
That's what I was trying to figure out, because I thought I saw somewhere where it said open boat storage or something, and I didn't know because it was it looked like big garage doors and then entry doors.
Yes.
Are there garage doors on there? Are you storing boats in there, or
It could be boat related material. Boats are allowed if gas containment is limited to 5 gallons or less. But it's basically to service the operations at the site.
okay?
So it would be marine related?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, I'm familiar with the old, what was there, and when it was seafood. Have the tanks all been removed? Is there anything underground?
the tanks have been all removed, and what they had in the day was a whole bunch of fancy saltwater
Yes,
troughs. Because of the heights that was below grade, we've actually will be containing, filling that up and capping at grade a slab. So all that's unevenness, it's below grade, that's all going to be capped.
the tanks have been removed, though.
No tanks. There have been no tanks.
There were.
Oh,
I
the
mean,
lobster
the
tanks.
lobsters, the
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
clams,
Yeah,
everything
that-
in there.
this is vacated, yes.
Okay, so on the second and third floors, there's going to be no seafood. I mean, the
No.
name is very, I wanted to say it was going to be lobster storage or clams or something like that. So this is strictly a storage facility.
Yes,
Correct.
the lobster trap self-storage is what the signage will say.
Oh, I don't know if you ever saw the old sign that used to be there. It was illuminated. It was a big lobster in the back in the day. I wondered if it was still available.
We have photos here from aerials that we've taken. I think that puppy's gone.
It was a landmark.
It was a landmark. We'll see if
Yes.
it's available. That could be a hot commodity for somebody just coming by and grabbing it.
No, it was lit up. It was quite illuminated. It was very nice.
Is this Tiverton's blue bug?
No, it might have been in puritanical days.
I'll find out.
I had another question. It's not design review, but I wanted John to, the building official, maybe he can address it too. And I was just kind of looking it up this morning. I don't know why it clicked. So under service businesses, it says for uses, storage, repair, and sales of boats and marine accessories. My book says that's a special use permit. I don't know if I'm out of date. And then also, when I go to wholesale business and storage, section 12 for mini storage facility in Waterfront, that is not permitted.
It's a special, well, mini storage as defined by the zoning ordinance consists of one story only, one story buildings like those U-Haul spaces where you drive your pickup truck and unload. This is not a one-story building. So technically it doesn't meet the definition per our zoning ordinance of mini storage. It does meet the definition of wholesale business and storage of non-flammable, non-explosive materials, which in the Waterfront is a special use permit.
Okay, so they do have to go for a special use permit, and I don't know.
But is there some I would think there was some grandfathering involved. That's probably.
Yeah. Yes, the top two floors were wholesale. I'm sorry, the top two floors were all nets and boat equipment, and I don't remember the operation down on the grade, but there's definitely storage and still reminiscence of storage.
No question, but some research has to be done whether or not that was for the sole use of the ownership of the building, whether it was for the public use like we're proposing here. There are some nuances that definitely have to be but not at this point. I think right now under the design review, I guess, right? We're just determining what is.
No, but it's when it comes to the planning board and we make an advisory opinion and it would go to the building
Absolutely.
official. See, when I was
Yep.
looking at that, I want to know if we need to refer you to the zoning board, if you're going to need a special use permit for.
A little bit more research has to be done before we make any decision on this end in our office, for sure.
And the elevator that is proposed is not there now. This would be a brand new elevator, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And going back into the historical days, this used to be a trap company they would pull off of Secana Point, and there would be a lot of tractor trailers would come into here and offload, and they would offload from the water as well. And I do believe we need to look at the entire parcel as far as the landscaping again.
Yeah, that operation is certainly ceased. This building with its new fit out will not engage in fisheries.
How about tractor trailers?
I don't believe so, other than a moving van on occasion, but not, no, this building is not suited for handling that kind of, there's no need for that.
Not on this building, but you have another building there that is a garage. It looks as though it's being used for taking care of trucks. So the entrance to the parcel should be looked at in respect to the width and the openings, and also for anybody with your 28 parking. There's a typo on that spots that you have here. I mean, we need to beautify the whole site, not just the building, my opinion, and have better lines where the property line, your property line is.
Okay. I don't know the full extent of the other building, other than I'm understanding that it's a lot less, it's more low key now than what it was in the day. And as far as the future intent of that, I'm not completely sure. We haven't addressed that.
And is your parking remaining the same? It sounded like it was. Is that the same
Yes,
parking here?
yes.
Right. My other question was, so you show that you have, I think it's underground water. It shows, well, I assume you have town water there and you have underground electric, but I don't see a septic tank. Do you have bathroom facilities? Are you going to need bathroom, or is there not going to be anything on the site?
We have an existing bathroom in the secondary building with its own septic system that there is record of.
Is that, I don't know, one thing, oh, I guess this hasn't changed hands, has it? This is still the
No.
same owner, so.
But the septic should show on the site plan where the location. Is it a tight tank, or is it a what type of septic is it? It's so close to the water there. Maybe it is a tight tank.
No, it's in its existing tank, and it's the location is basically it's right about here.
It's not a cesspool, you know. that
So
it's
you're
not-
telling
No.
me there's no bathrooms in the other building?
No,
No,
Is that allowed?
Well, again.
I'm asking John.
This is very.
by code it is, if you're within 500 feet of this type of use. There's a toilet facility within 500 feet of the use
But that's-
allowed.
that
I
would-
can forward you the passes on that.
Does it have to be available to the public, or is that just for the business? Because does the public have access to that other building where the bathroom is?
the tenants.
The tenants, yes,
They would have access to that other building?
Yes,
yes.
Bathroom.
One of your plans says there's a lavatory on each floor.
Right.
That was the old.
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, it does say that. That's- I mean, just need it clarified, because that's what,
Yeah, there. Doesn't,
on sheet A1, does water closets per floor, lavatories per floor, drinking fountains per floor, service sink per floor. You have one for each, so if you have it, you just need to show septic. If you're-
what sheet is that you're looking at?
A1.0.
Yes,
Yeah, see.
okay.
What's the revision date on the one you're looking at?
2/22/21.
5, 6. It's 5/6.
5/6/2021.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 5/6.
And I don't see a
Oh,
lot of-
this is 5.
that is-
Is that the latest?
This is,
No, that should.
Or was it on the schedule?
yeah, he's talking about this right
Want
here.
to clarify?
Yeah, I think it's in the notes. Is it in the notes where it's,
Yeah, it's in the notes. But that's it. It doesn't show on the floor plan where your bathroom or either. That's why we're just trying to get things clarified.
Yeah, it just says a janitor's closet.
Right, and if you have a janitor's closet, does that include water? And that means you need a drain.
We'll be removing the plumbing in there and we'll revise the legend. Now that the other one can be handicapped accessible within the limits of the distances that we need. We're going to be using that facility with the existing septic.
Ooh,
yeah, it sounds like you're gonna be using the other building. I mean,
Yes,
Right.
So you should beautify the other building.
No, it's exactly when there's some design. I mean, it's like a big old, it's a, kind of a well-worn garage with kind of landscape overgrowth. It's not even overgrowth, it's just weeds all around it. So it would need to be,
It should be landscape too.
oh, it should be, I mean, it shouldn't look like
Well,
a
we
beach.
recognize that. We're trying desperately to get this building operational so that it's not taking a loss and a loss and a loss. It's been idle now we've been involved for about 4 or 5 years. Prior to that, with the initial approvals, that was another 5 or 6 years prior. So it's with the owner's doing the best he can with it. And eventually I keep on telling him as the architect, that, someday we got to really deal with this as a whole master plan, but the immediate objective is get this building up and running, clean it up, beautify it, and then start working on the docks have been repaired, the seawall's been repaired, the lift with the FEMA compliance was major. It was significant to raise a historical building. That was quite an undertaking. And now this last quadrant, certainly we would love to, we did some early schematics on it, but at that point it just sat idle. But we're pushing as much as we can to get this thing beautified. We recognize what's happening. And
maybe there can be plans done of what you're going to do. Maybe the landscaping could just be for the one building, but if you have an idea of what you're going to do.
we don't know what that end use
Yeah.
is. I mean, we'll beautify the road along the main street, but that's all we can do right now.
I keep throwing questions out there, and I know it's not.
No, please do.
Not design related, but it's considerations. So I don't know if the fire department would require interior sprinklers. I'm kind of guessing they would. So if you take the water out, but you have sprinklers, don't you have to have a drain? I don't know if that goes through septic or where that goes. It seems like if you have to
That's
have,
independent from our domestic lines.
I don't know, John, do you know what the situation, I mean, the fire department would determine if they need sprinklers, but if.
Well,
We-
the building code would dictate whether or not sprinklers are required, but if this is considered a low hazard category of storage, sprinklers are probably not required. I might be shooting from the hip here, but like I said,
I think it's based on square footage, as I remember.
it's based on its use.
it's based on use and.
Based on use, primarily by use.
It's quite complicated because the limitations of the unhabitable space below and the definition of a basement I'm saying this very simply said. The basement is doesn't meet the definition of a basement because so much perimeter area is at grade. So it becomes a story. So technically, it's a 3-story building, even though we do separate the lowest level and then the upper 2 floors. So we are sprinkling the building. But even so, once we sprinkle the building with its own requirements, this is not interconnected with the domestic or waste of water supply.
No, but where does it drain out once?
I don't know. I have a feeling that the upper 2 floors may be a dry system. I mean, we have plans to condition that area, but it's not going to be, I don't believe, over 55 degrees in the winter. I don't recall. I mean, we haven't worked out the detail yet, but the last we spoke of is that it would be a dry system rather than having all that water active.
Yeah.
So the only,
That
in
would-
the event of a fire, God forbid, that's the only time we'll be releasing water.
Okay, it's just something I figured maybe.
No, it's a good
thought
question.
about, because I just, yes, okay, so can I go back to design stuff? So the horizontal, that's across the first floor on the main road, what is that material? Because you have the wood shingles, I assume, on the building. The building's wood shingled, right?
Well, it is now, but that's going to be a higher grade vinyl certainteed where shakes are depicted. It's not just sheet vinyl. It's got,
It'll look like shingles, but it'll be fake. Well, synthetic. We'll call synthetic. That sounds good.
Which stands well for maintenance.
yeah.
So what are the horizontal?
The horizontal pieces, those are entirely breakaway. They're designed to release. They're designed to release in the event of a wave action.
Right.
And we're calling clapboard siding on these panels.
All right. And what color is everything going to be? Dark brown like it was, or are you doing different colors?
Probably,
I'm trying to keep it natural.
yeah, natural grayish, bluish. I think that's what the owner, when we last spoke, his intention was.
Can you, for the meeting, get samples for us of colors and what it's going to look like? I would guess that board members are going to want to see samples, and often we get those.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. And then,
Okay.
and then on the back side where the garage doors are, what's that material going to be?
Same
Similar.
thing.
No, the below where the garage doors are, they're just white now.
Yeah, it's not shown. Would be the same.
Which the
The
shingle-
clapboard.
Oh, it'll be the breakaway stuff.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it would be helpful because I'm sure somebody will want to know colors and.
Would you accept brochures and a colored rendering? It'll be
Okay.
difficult unless we get physical samples to you.
Okay. Well, we're still doing Zoom, so I guess.
If you don't mind, we can show you our renditions of the building, and then we'll show you what's available to us with the color packet.
Yeah, that'd be good. And if you can show something more detail of what the lights are, they'll probably want to know about that.
Yeah, I thought we had that. Okay.
I don't know if we had like enlarged versions of the lights. I mean, see what's in the building, but people like to see what the lights are going to be. And then I guess the sign that meets town requirements, the town limit, I don't know, square.
Yeah,
foot.
we'll look at that for,
Show that.
when we look at the zoning.
The lighting, the
The
lighting on
sign
the,
is correct. The sign is predicated on, John went through that, 50 feet, within 50 feet of the road. What is the criteria? 50 square feet if it's within X of the road.
We have all that. We can show it next
All
door.
right, just so you know that it's
Stuff here.
passes muster. That's fine. I mean, what color is the sign gonna be?
That'd probably be white with dark blue or black lettering.
Kind of stuff by the board, if you just explain that stuff, in your present to the planning board. Be helpful.
the lighting plan would be on the building, but could we have something on the entire parcel as to what you're proposing for security reasons?
We're only dealing with this building right now for lighting.
I know, but it's the parcel with the town is concerned about.
Again, there's site plan issues and we're not addressing, so we're here because of
Just the one building.
we're here because of the exposure of the building's location and really the architecture of the building itself. And granted, lights and signage for the particular building, great. And I'm sure we can extend landscaping along the streetscape. I can't address the rest of the parking area, no.
Okay.
Because we've got boats, we've got them producing their lights, we've got docks, we've got a building that's really only used during day hours. Whatever we show is gonna be phase 2, if at all. That's the only way I can really handle it properly. I don't want to just throw things on there that are gonna be irrelevant.
Is the building accessible 24 hours a day, or does it close down, lock up at certain hours? Because I know
I
you
think
have a
There'll be
lobby.
limitations set depending on the ordinances. I'm not sure. Generally, these types of facilities are.
Okay.
Is there gonna be any sort, any provisions for like an access, like a key access gate into this property?
I don't think so because of the other building and access to the boats, the fishing boats.
Okay.
But we can certainly dress it up and whatever comes in our property, certainly dress that up for sure.
Okay, it's not so much a dress up, it's again, access if somebody wants to. get-
Yeah, no, I would love to do something like that, but we're restricting the other people.
No. I suppose you can always restrict access to the building itself.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Absolutely. All of the doors and everything is gonna,
Yeah, it looks like the entrance is through the lobby on the ground floor. That's how you get in to the elevator.
yes.
Yes. You'd enter in on the ground floor, either the stair or the stair over there, or the freight elevator.
Are you going to be allowed to have the freight elevator? Is CRMC going to allow that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're allowed certain square footages for exit and exiting the building and certain areas for operational purposes. Absolutely. Absolutely. CRMC is really not, I don't mean in any disrespect, CRMC is really not terribly concerned with the inside of any structure. They're really concerned about the flood heights, the makeup of the breakaways, the structure itself. Inside, unless it starts contemplating the 50% rules in many different levels, then they may have an opinion on it, but this stuff is totally legit.
John, I don't know if we need to the planning board needs to do any follow-up on the CRMC. Will that just be basically, we can refer that to, they'll need to provide that before you allow building permits?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Will that work? I mean, so we don't have to.
Yeah, we have a blanketed open CRMC maintenance application and to foundation and lift the building and all FEMA compliant stuff. There's a whole new regime with CRMC. It's kind of a little bit in a shambles, but Greg Barabalt, who normally deals with state dependent buildings on the waterfront such as this, not necessarily state dependent, but commercial related, they usually expedite it. So we would have all the proper documents when it's time for And it could very well just be a maintenance permit with exterior siding and windows, for all we know. But we will go through that prior to finishing our construction documents and prior to having everything sufficiently documented for building permit. Right now, we're still under permission for what we've got, but we haven't started any of this brunt of the work now.
Would it be possible to have some samples of the faux windows that you're going to have? We had another project in town that was faux windows, and it didn't turn out the way we thought it was going to turn out. I think Susan remembers that one.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get real double hung windows or single hung windows with true divided lights or simulated divided lights exterior. That's what we're shooting for. I don't know. Yeah, we can dig into that a little further. If they are maintenance free in nature, whether it's aluminum clad or I think it'll be architectural grade, whereas the sash sill styles are all what we would expect to see back in the day. We did have these were 6/6 windows. We would try to mimic something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of 2/2 on most of our historical stuff, but we'll see what we can do here. Since they're going to be protected on the inside, so in terms of it's the glazing, mirrored or sheamed, and they don't even necessarily need to be impact windows because we are going to make provisions on the inside. So the long and short of it is where we save on performance, we can certainly put into the aesthetics.
Did you say they were going to be lit?
No,
Okay.
no.
Great. Does anyone else? Oh, Rick, I see Rick is attended.
Oh,
Do you have any input on the lobster storage?
Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer, no, they've given lots of good information, of course, but the only thing that we would typically be interested in is the stormwater mitigation, the erosion control, and the paved area at the intersection of the road and the lot. And that's a state road, so that would be up to the state. And
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. We had gone through this with the Public Works Director. Was that you?
Yes. That is the Public Works Director, yes.
Okay, I don't see a visual here. I thought that was already cleared because we're not expanding the footprint.
yeah, I'm having trouble hearing you, but what I was saying was the things that DPW is, areas of interest are the paved apron, which is not under our jurisdiction in this case. That's DOT, so that's not applicable. The second of three is erosion control, and the third of three is stormwater mitigation. And I did meet out there this was quite a while ago, with the owner and the architect, and reviewed what, excuse me, what DPW would have in the areas of interest for that. And it was, what was being planned was fine with DPW.
Yeah, I thought that was erosion control and stormwater control was deemed it was an existing structure and we weren't increasing impervious surfaces and that it was to remain as is.
What was discussed and basically resolved was It is an existing structure, so stormwater mitigation, unless something new was going to be added for impervious area, and at that time, nothing was. So
Right.
DPW was okay with the stormwater mitigation as is. With erosion control, it's always left open that if something is going to disturb soil, the owner has to make sure adequate erosion control is in place. If nothing is going to be disturbed for soil, no excavation, etc., then erosion control is not applicable.
Okay, no, okay. So we were at that meeting as well, and I think we have a new building official from what was there at the time. Is that my understanding? John, are you new?
Yes, I am. Day
Welcome.
4,
welcome.
week 9. Thank you.
Oh, oh boy.
Oh, no. I've been very welcomed here, so I plan on
Okay.
till they throw me out.
Okay, because the building department was very receptive before to get us going. And so let me ask you a question. If we do deal with the landscaping, and I think the only holes that we'll deal with, if at all, is the bulbs for the new trees. Are they going to warrant any type of, and it's on the upper side? Do we need any? We're not planning anything for the site. No impervious surface. If anything, we're using crushed stone. If there's driveway improvements, it's going to be crushed stone. The only real work is bringing in some lumen seed in the front and planting of those trees. We could certainly protect around those areas. We could show that on the landscaping plan, if that seems okay.
Yeah, those sort of things aren't entirely under my purview. That's one of these team efforts where Jen and I and the planning board and all those affected make those decisions, because it's not governed by either the zone ordinance per se or by the building code.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
totality of the whole thing in which we all consult with one another and decide on what is best suited.
So bottom line, we stop bringing in impervious surface and work in the site. We need to gear up for erosion control and stormwater control. But if we leave it as is, we're okay.
And that's where Richard comes in, correct? Right?
Okay.
Correct, Richard? Is he still there?
Thank you. There he is.
What was the question, John?
So Richard, both John and I, as the architects, were on site when everybody was there. Bottom line is, if we do not disturb the site, we leave everything as is, with the exception of some landscaping improvements out front.
Roof ceiling.
We can forego the erosion control and the stormwater control. Is that correct?
Yeah, as I mentioned at the site and just a little while ago, as long as there's no actual disturbance of the soil, then erosion control is not applicable. If
Okay.
someone is going to install something, they simply have to have erosion control at that particular spot. So if you're going to put in a tree and you're going to excavate, you just have to put in enough erosion control at that particular area.
Okay. Okay. But not stormwater mitigation. That's a nightmare for us.
Right. And that was discussed, of course, on site, and there was no impervious area being added, so it was not applicable.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to clarify that.
I had the last thought. If you can get any samples of what your siding or materials or colors are, if you can get those to Jennifer in the office, that way she can let planning board members know if anybody wants to stop by and see it prior to the meeting, it would be available.
Okay, so this is in 2 weeks. We'll certainly
If you can get a hold of something.
We'll certainly do a rendering to give you the whole picture, and then initially we'll send the brochures that are available to us and the color selections that are available and those that we favor. if you need actual samples, is this gonna be a public meeting open or is it Zoom?
It is a public meeting, but it will only be on Zoom. So
Okay,
if the planning board members want to see it, they'd have to come in. To the
okay,
I was saying if you just made some samples available in the office, so if anybody wanted to stop by and
yeah.
see it.
We're
then
gonna shoot for the brochures first
Yeah,
with
that'd be
color,
helpful.
if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be helpful.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. It'll definitely be an improvement to that corner.
no, we understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to get as much out of you as we can because it's our chance to.
You are. And I'm trying to do the same with the owner.
I know, trying to change it from being such an eyesore that we've been looking at for
Oh, boy,
years
I
and
know.
years. And it will enhance, the business if the whole corner is better.
Absolutely. I have friends, I say, we're doing a job in Tiverton. And where is it? And they're kind of like, oh, no,
Yeah.
they're gonna see it now.
I mean, you can only,
Everybody knows.
hopefully you can only make it better. So
We're trying,
yeah.
really sincerely.
No, I know.
Okay, so if, does anyone have any last questions?
For one more comment, I think we'll try to define the special use permit issue before it goes in front of the planning board for them to make that. Is planning and zoning the same or is it
Yeah.
two different?
It's different. So I'm
Okay,
the zoning officer here and the enforcer, and they will do a certificate for the zoning certificate for, hopefully we'll get it for the planning board meeting so that you can know if you need a special use permit, because it would be good.
okay. Did we, I don't think we applied for the zoning certificate
No,
yet.
we'll do it internally for you.
Okay, and if they would get a hold of us, we can help and assist with that and where we found our information from. I guess it doesn't, well,
Yeah,
Well,
if you can- and if you can
If you need
clarify-
a special use permit, you probably should get input from the planning board at the same time that you're here.
Right.
right, as long as one's not predicated on the other than using that as a condition, the planning board.
Now, what we do is we send an advisory opinion. Once we approve the design review, it's an advisory opinion and then goes to the building official. And if the
Okay.
caveat is that a special use permit is required, then your next step would be go to the zoning board for that relief.
Okay, maybe we can get that answer for you prior to the advisory opinion being made before the meeting.
And if you could just clarify the right of way stuff or the state, which, the front yard, who owns the front yard and what you can do with it?
Jennifer, I have a question for you.
Yes.
The renditions that we've done since the original submission, I can mail a copy of the whole new packet to you. Is that preferable? And if so, like how many?
Yeah, I'm gonna need
Multiple.
10 copies. Yeah, and I need the paper copies to give to the planning board of these, so.
Okay.
as soon as
So
you
I'll
get-
just, would it just be easier just for me to resend the whole thing instead of piecemealing it together with the pieces that have been updated on your end?
Let me ask you this, can we do one big set with the big drawings and then reduce it down 11 by 17 and the other documents 8.5 by 11? The paper
I think
copy?
most people like the larger 24 by 36.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think the 11 by 17.
it's hard to see.
not a problem.
And
And you'll have electronic copies too, I would.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, but if you can update those notes, the bathrooms and.
yes, thank you.
Notice where,
Thank you.
notice where the septic tank is and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Whatever changes we discussed, if we can provide.
Yeah.
That way it's clean and it'll be ready to go to zoning, to the building official. Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you very much for your time and your input. It's all good and very much appreciated.
All right, does anyone have a motion to adjourn?
So moved
Okay,
at 12:05.
Oh,
second,
thank you.